It is Monday, September 9th, and I'm just wondering if the Cowboys are going to have an easier game this year than the one they had in Cleveland Sunday.
And now, a word from our title sponsor.
Are all financial advisors fiduciaries? Fewer than you think. Not knowing could reduce your lifestyle. Hi, I'm Mitch Kramer, founder and CEO of Fluent Financial. A fiduciary is a regulatory term to reduce conflicts of interest in wealth management. A fiduciary always works in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor might put their compensation or company ahead of yours. At Fluent Financial, we are certified financial planners acting as fiduciary advisors. To learn more, go to fluentfinancial.com or Fluent Financial's YouTube channel.
Harry and I are star power people. I know what some of you might be thinking. Oh, they must get a bunch of free stuff. Absolutely not. We love Star Power because of the quality of their products and their remarkable service. Oh, you can buy electronics somewhere off a shelf and take it home and try to install it yourself or ask somebody to help you. But what if something goes wrong? Or what if it isn't quite right for you? That's where Star Power's service stars. And that's why we're Star Power people. Crest is again proud to sponsor the McKinney Police Association Golf Tournament and Car Raffle, October 24th at TPC Craig Ranch in McKinney. Sign up and purchase a raffle ticket for the opportunity to win a brand new Crest Cadillac CT4. It's easy. You go to crestcares.com. You don't even have to live in McKinney to win. Grab yourself a raffle ticket, sign up at crestcares.com, perhaps win that new vehicle, and do support the McKinney Police Association. A note before we begin. Starting today, Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges will go to a 3 days a week format, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now, most of the episodes going forward will be multi-topic episodes. But otherwise, things remain the same. They'll be delivered right to you before dawn on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Usually, days after Cowboy games, I will do 5 key plays that made a difference that you may not remember made a difference in the game. But there were no key plays like that. The game started, and Dallas dominated. They dominated for 60 minutes, which you seldom see in the National Football League. I must confess, I thought this was going to be a tough game for Dallas. Cleveland was 8-1 at home last year. They had the league's number 1 defense last year. And Dallas was playing all kinds of rookies to begin this season. Boy, was I ever wrong. There were 2 major happenings in this game. Dallas was good, and Cleveland was putrid. Let's begin with Dallas. Dallas had to be cautious playing the Browns' defense because they were starting an untested left tackle and an untested center as 2 members of their 5-man offensive line. But Tyler Guyton and Connor Beebe accounted themselves very nicely in this game. That's got to encourage Dallas. And Dallas took very few chances. They got rid of the ball quickly. I guess you could say their game plan was a bit conservative, but that's basically the Dallas game plan. Now, Dak, he was good. He was good. Controlled the game, as usual, had an enormous grasp of what he was trying to do. But the star of this game offensively for the Dallas Cowboys was Mike McCarthy. He controlled the ball with his play calling. He controlled the clock. Dallas just totally dominated the first half of this game. The game was basically over at halftime when Dallas led 20-3. Now, he didn't really step out and take many chances, but Dallas kept moving the ball, huddling and snapping the ball quickly, keeping the Cleveland defense off balance. And make no mistake about it, that's a good Cleveland defense. No one on the offense had a star day. Well, except for one player. Place kicker Brandon Aubrey is outrageous. He hit 4 field goals again, the longest from 57, and he also hit one from 66. But that was nullified because of a really bizarre delay of game penalty against the Cowboys. Aubrey is a true weapon in the NFL. And while there were no stars on the offense, there were lots of stars on the new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. They had constant pressure on Deshaun Watson. And we start with Micah Parsons. Now, you know what's happening, I think, in Dallas? Is we're so getting used to what a star Micah Parsons is. He's outrageous. He had 1 sack. He had 8 quarterback pressures. He tipped the ball that turned into an interception. And you know what? It's like he's like that every week. DeMarcus Lawrence had a sack and 7 pressures. Rookie defensive end Marshawn Nealon had 6 pressures. Interceptions for Eric Kendricks, the middle linebacker, and the cornerback Trayvon Diggs. And the kids were everywhere. The cornerback Carson, the rookie, acquitted himself wonderfully in his first start. And so did linebacker DeMarvion Overshown, who was drafted not this spring but the last spring, but was hurt and did not play at all last year. Zimmer mixed things up constantly. Different lineups, different packages, and the Browns went nowhere. Forget how easy this game looked. Cleveland at home, well coached, and a healthy defense. This shouldn't have been this easy game, but it was, and that's got to be good news for the Cowboys. Cleveland, though, they have one enormous problem. It's quarterback Deshaun Watson. He's in the 3rd year of a 5-year, $230 million completely guaranteed contract. He didn't look any better than some vagabond backup quarterback, the kinds that just knock around this league every year. And yes, the absence of his 2 starting tackles on offense really did hurt him. But he was off target. He seemed confused at times. He just kept dumping the ball off short. Maybe he was just gun-shy from all the pressures. But the Deshaun Watson that was a star and a big downfield passer for Houston in 2020 has now turned into a dump machine. In his 6 games played in 2022 and another 6 games played in 2023, that's what Watson did with the ball. He dumped it down low. That's not going to move against good defenses. Cleveland is paying him an average of $46 million a year with 3 years left on his contract. To be honest, if you had to pick the single biggest difference between Cleveland and Dallas on Sunday, it was the quarterback position. Dak looked in command. Dak looked in control. And Deshaun Watson simply looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
For more than 3 decades, Bob's Steak and Chop House has remained an icon of DFW restaurants. Why? Well, maybe it's because of Bob. He's fanatical about cleanliness and friendliness, and his food, oh my Lord, his food. If you've been there, you know about it. If you haven't been there, you should know about it. The original Bob welcomes you at either of his 2 locations, Bob's on Lemon Avenue or the sparkling new Bob's at Craig Ranch, McKinney.
Some notes from the football weekend. Well, Dak Prescott got his money. $240 million over 4 years, with 231 of it guaranteed. Wait a minute. Why not all 240? Goodness gracious, if you're going to guarantee 231. But anyway, I don't know where that last $9 million is going to go eventually. But you know what? This was kind of silly that it waited till the morning of the first game of the season. This could have been done 8 months ago. Had Dallas offered this amount of money 8 months ago, Dak would have taken it. You know what? Instead of offering $60 million a year for 4 years, if 8 months ago, if they'd offered $57 million a year for the 4 years, I think they'd have gotten it done then. And they'd have saved themselves maybe $3 million under the cap, which, if you're Dallas, is important. Because Dak and CeeDee Lamb now will eventually be making an average of $94 million a year between just the 2 of them. And once Micah Parsons gets his contract next year, which I believe will be north of $36 million, those 3 will count against the cap more than $130 million. And Dallas is going to have to be drafting exceptionally every year to keep filling the holes with that much committed to those 3 players. Let's go to college football. Texas looks like a top-notch national contender. Nothing fortunate at all about that win in Michigan. Michigan's a power football team, and Texas kicked their butt. And Quinn Ewers, the quarterback, is playing his way into the upper first round of the NFL draft come next spring. Michigan is not a title contender. Oh, they're the national champion. And oh, yes, they've got some good players, and they'll be able to bully several teams this year. 8 or 9 of them, maybe 10 of them. But their quarterback, Davis Warren, simply doesn't make nearly enough plays. And his backup is nothing more than a running back in disguise. Notre Dame leaped up the rankings after beating Texas A&M, and now they will drop like a rock in a vacuum. They couldn't handle Northern Illinois. That's not Illinois, mind you. It's Northern Illinois from the Mid-American Conference. They scored 14 points against the Huskies. Their offense didn't look all that good against A&M. And if that's going to be their offense for the year, Notre Dame's in a lot of trouble as far as being any kind of a significant football team this year. And things in Colorado don't look very good. Colorado got plastered by Nebraska. They were down 28-0 at the half. And remember last week, they barely scraped by North Dakota State. And now it appears they've lost star safety and the son of head coach Deion Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, to a broken arm. And down the road, Colorado meets 5 ranked teams in their last 7 games of the season. Nebraska, meanwhile, is looking pretty salty with freshman quarterback Dylan Raiola. It's a team to watch. And finally, Texas Tech's in trouble. Swamped by what most experts feel is a fairly mediocre Washington State team. By the way, the picks of the poll this weekend, we had a very good Saturday and a very bad Sunday. So it's a 10-10 weekend heading into Monday night's pick on the New York Jets. That's it for this episode of Just Wondering, and we'll talk to you again on Wednesday.
Today's episode brought to you by Fluent Financial. Retire sooner, better lifestyle. And by Crest Cars. There's good, there's better, and then there's Crest. By Star Power. Love where you live. And by Bob's Steak and Chop House.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Just Wondering with Norm Hitzges. If you enjoyed what you heard, please hit follow, and a fresh new episode will be delivered to you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you know someone who might enjoy our work, please share it with them. I'm Norm Hitzges, and I'm always just wondering about something.
And I'm Mary Hitchkus, and I'm just wondering too.